This is getting a bit tedious. So this nut, centre nut here, it's got to be torqued up. Obviously it's the nut on the top of the strut piston rod, and of course there's no way of stopping it spinning other than the you can see that, I'm not sure if it's a Torx or Allen, I think it's Torx, yeah, it's a Torx sort of socket there. That means I've got to use a combination of a spanner and the Torx thing to hold it, because it just won't it won't do it without spinning. So I need to put a counter hold on it with the Torx wrench, and I can't get a spanner in there because it's all too crowded. So what it means is I'm going to have to take the whole of the top mount off again, dismantle the top mount, do up the nut on the top of the piston, and somehow try and get that torqued up to the right level, then reassemble the whole thing and put it back in. So the moral of this story, if you're doing this yourself, is make sure you put the mount on the top of the strut first before you put it in the car. You can't do it once it's in the car. This whole setup is crazy, you know. I look at it, the more I look at it, you can't adjust the camber unless you drop the whole thing. It's a mad setup, but anyway, that's what we've got. So I hope you can now see the problem more clearly. See, I can't get a spanner. Oh, actually I can get a spanner in there now, but obviously when it's on the car I simply can't. I was thinking I was going to have to take this top bracket off, this black piece, but maybe I don't actually. Let's see what happens. You can see the piston just spinning. So I need something to counter hold it. Let's try. Yep, okay, that's the one. Now I guess what I've got to hope is that once it's I've clamped it down a bit, that it's tight enough to stop the piston spinning, and then I can do the final torquing, but that may not be possible, in which case I'm going to have to just judge it by hand. I need to turn that the other way, don't I? Get a grip, Paul. Now, just got to get the whole thing apart. Okie dokie. Yeah, so it clamps the nuts, and there's a thing underneath clamps onto the centre ball in the spherical joint that forms the rose joint that forms the top of the strut. Okay, so now I've got to figure out, am I going to be able to torque this? So it's got to be torqued up to 64 Newton meters. Now obviously I'm going to be able to tell if it's gripping, if the piston rod is gripping, because, oh no, of course it's just spinning, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this with a torque wrench. I'm just going to have to judge it with my arm strength. Of course, the idea that I'm going to be able to torque it is ridiculous, unless you've got one of those crow's feet thing, and if you did have a crow's feet thing, you would definitely have to take this top piece off, because I don't think you get it done any other way. Okay, so now all I've got to do is put it all back on again. I've gone as far as I can with this now. I think I've done everything for the suspension, so all of these lower control arms, they're all torqued up, the track rod end, etc. I've put the link bar on, torqued up the nuts each end of that, and I've put on the ABS, which goes around there. You can just about see that there. So the thing I've got to do is replace the brake lines, the hoses, I bought the wrong one, as I explained yesterday, but I bought a pack of six fronts and rears, and rather than return them, which means I've got to take the rears off, I've decided to buy 2 new front hoses and sell the ones I've got on eBay. The rears are the same. I've checked the part numbers, the BMW part numbers, and they're the same for both pre-July 2005 and post-July 2005. So I haven't got a problem at the back. It's just these ones at the front. The only other thing I had to do a quick running repair on this because this bolt pulled through. In fact, you can see this one's cracked as well and looks as though it's about to pull through, but I'm only going to run the back plates while I use it as a track day car, and when I race with it I'm going to remove the back plates anyway, so I'm not going to get too fussed about that. The final thing I'm going to do is put the brake rotor on. I can't put the caliper on because you have to twist the caliper onto the hose. It's strange because it hasn't got a rotating thing on the rotating joint on the end of the union that goes into the caliper, so you have to twist the caliper on and tighten it up. So I'm going to leave the caliper off for the moment. I will put the brake rotor on, I will put the stud kit on, so that I'm complete this side, and then I'm going to move on to the other side. I don't know what you do when you shear off a stud in the body. So I've done it a couple of times now, once twice for the bracket that holds on the power-assisted steering reservoir. They sheared. And then this bracket, which is for the brake pipes and the electrical connections, you can see this top stud sheared. So all I do is I grind it as flat as I can get it, and then I stick a centre punch on it, drill it out, and then I tapped it to M6, and this is just an M6 stainless steel hex socket bolt, and I put that in, and that does the trick. And that's what I've done for the reservoir as well, the PAS reservoir. That's the car now with the front wheel on, which is good to see. I'm showing that shot because it's about it's between 3.5 and 4 degrees of negative camber. It's rough and it'll need adjusting, but that's approximately the negative camber on the front at the moment. The thing that I'm pleased about was I was a bit worried about the clearance of the wheels on the wing, but bearing in mind that I'm just building this the same way as everybody else builds them, I don't know why I had any doubt that it would work, but it seems okay. I've jacked the bottom of the suspension up so that it is it's more or less taking the weight of this corner of the car, so that's going to be about the ride height if I leave it the way it is. I'll have to have the car corner weighted, but I'll just set some default ride heights initially until I can get that done. I now have all of the suspension on, and you can see this front wheel is basically straight ahead. If we come over to this side, you can see that this one's pointing in quite a lot. So this is with the default settings, sort of, default positions of the track rod ends when they arrived. And I have a feeling that the M3 lower control arms are contributing here. Anyway, so I put the wheels on so that I can roughly get the tracking right. I'm going to have it tracked, and then I'm going to learn how to string it myself. But I'm going to get it tracked just to get it done quickly, so that I can get it MOT'd, get the roll cage installed, etc. I've roughly got the toe about right. I can see actually that it's towing in slightly too much, but because you can see on this side, I think that that's towing in, but it's probably good enough. I've only got to drive it about a mile, not even that, to the MOT centre where I'll get them to do the wheel alignment as well. So that's it for the front suspension, I believe. The only thing I've got to do, there are no brakes on it. So I've still got to do the brakes. You can see no calipers. So I'll do the brakes. The hoses should arrive early next week. So I'll do the put those brake hoses on, and then I can put the calipers on. I'll do the same at the back because I haven't put any calipers on those. And then it's moving into here. So I'm going to put in the radiator and the power assisted steering little radiator in front. I've got to put a power assisted steering pipe down here. That's got to be done. You can just about see the open hole there at the bottom. I've got the short belt. I've got the pulley. I've got some new bolts for the pulley because I messed one of them up when I was taking them off. So I've got those. And then it's just plumbing in the PAS reservoir and the water reservoir. And once I've done all that, airbox, air pipes, and then I'll move on to the steering column, manifold, exhaust system. So actually, I don't know if I've made it clear. I've got to wait for the lightweight flywheel, and I don't want to wait any longer. So I'm going to put the thing back together, get it MOT'd, get the roll cage fitted. I'll probably get the seat and steering wheel fitted as well, actually, because I want to take it down to the guys down at 4040 to get them to do the suspension setup for me. So I'll get all that done, and then when the flywheel should arrive in the next few weeks, and once I've had everything done, I'll have to just drop the exhaust system again, the prop shaft, and then pull the gearbox out. If I don't go mad and actually take the engine out, which is another option, because I have got this brake pipe that I've repaired, but I'd rather have replaced it, quite honestly. But I don't know. I think at the moment I just need to get the thing back together and take it out on a track and give it a shakedown, quite honestly, just to see where we are with it.